So I think the really important thing to remember is if you had any business at all, people would have objections taking the plunge, you know? So this is not unique to hypnobirthing business, but so important, because if you want to run a really successful hypnobirthing business, like having these people see what you offer and be able to show them why what's going on in their mind about why they shouldn't take the plunge is not really a thing, is going to be really powerful. So Rebecca, hello Rebecca, gorgeous to see you. Let me tighten up my tripod, it's spinning here a little bit. Morning Rebecca, lovely to see you. Nolene's here too, good morning. Julia, hi, and Emma, oh, lovely to see you all. So, really important to remember, like, that people have objections over anything. So, for example, if a friend rang me up and was like, Abby, guess what? I'm going to this, like, you know, I'm going to this retreat day, yeah? Would you come? And, you know, sounds good, doesn't it? You know, definitely. And then she'd be like, right, let me send you the details. And I'd have a look at the details. And no doubt, little objections would come up in my mind. Yeah? Perhaps that would be the same with you. You might think, oh, you might look at it, you might be like, oh, actually, like, I know I'm coming with my friend, but you know what? I might not know anybody else there. Or actually, it looks a bit alternative. Like, what if I'm the only person there that, you know, hasn't got much experience of things like that? You know, or, oh gosh, it's a bit far away. Like, can I really make time for this around my family life? And then I might look and think, oh, actually, it's that price. Can I really afford that right now? So all the time, like when we see stuff, we often do go through a list of objections in our minds. Now, as a business owner, it is so important to know these so that you can help those people overcome them, and you can bust some of the assumptions that they might be making about your course. So I have got a list of objections here. I'm only going to be talking about 3 main ones today, but I would love to know, good morning Anna, if you have ever heard any of these. So even if you have not started teaching courses yet, because maybe you're an aspiring hypnobirthing teacher, have you heard friends, family, other people say this about hypnobirthing? Do let me know. So I've labelled them A to F. If I say one and you've heard that, pop it in the chat box. So if I say A and you're like, yeah, I've definitely heard people say that, drop it in the chat box A, okay? So A, I don't think my birth partner or my husband or whoever it is will be interested. So if anyone's ever said that to you about hypnobirthing, drop A for me in the chat box. I don't think my birth partner will be interested. So therefore, I'm not going to do it, because you have to bring your birth partner, right? B, I'm already doing an antenatal course. I'm already doing an antenatal course, so I don't need to do it. That's B. Drop that in if you've heard that one. C, do you know what? I'm feeling really excited about my birth. I'm feeling, you know, calm. I'm not scared, so I don't need to do it. So that's C. C, I'm not feeling scared, I'm actually feeling excited, so I don't need to do it. D, I can't afford it. D, I can't afford it. E, I just don't think I've got the time. I've not got the time to attend a course. I haven't got the time to be doing all the stuff that maybe you have to do when you do a course. E. And F, I've actually got, a lot of things going on in this pregnancy. It's not quite straightforward. So I just don't know what type of birth I'm going to have. So I don't think this is going to be relevant to me. So F, I've got a lot of things going on in my pregnancy. Maybe they're high risk. So actually, I don't think this is going to be relevant to me. Okay. So I can see lots of people like popping these letters in, so they have heard these before. Rebecca also says, I know I'm going to have an epidural, a C-section, etc. already, so there's no point. Yes, yeah, absolutely. That can be a common, like, objection, can it? And a really, like, frustrating one, because you really know that whether they're having an epidural, a cesarean, an induction, whatever, this is going to be so, so important to them. Okay, so Ashley says all of them or variations of them. Me too, me too. Really common objections. Now, I've got some more here, okay? Now, these are ones that people might not actually say, but they're thinking. Yeah? So, you know, when I gave that example of a friend saying, do you want to come on this retreat day? All those things going on in my head about it, I probably wouldn't say to her. I might just say the money thing, Maya. Or I might just say the time thing. I probably wouldn't say, oh, Sam, like, oh, actually, it's because I think I might be the only, like, you know, the only, like, straight-laced person there. You know, I don't think I'd probably actively say that out loud. So this is the same with hypnobirthing. People will be having thoughts about it that they won't say to you. They won't say, oh, I've decided not to book because of this. They'll say the other things, okay? But these are really important to know, okay? So, and do drop any you think too. Like, what are they really thinking? So these are what I've put, okay? They might not say this to you, but they're thinking it. They think it's going to be preachy. They think you are going to be preaching to them about what they should and shouldn't do. Okay. Next one. They're thinking, I don't want to get my hopes up. I don't want to set high expectations for this birth. I don't want to think positively about it because actually I'm going to be more disappointed. If I have my hopes up high, I'm just setting myself up for disappointment. So I'd rather aim low. Another one is, I think it's just a day. Like, you know, it's just a day in my life. Like, I'm going to birth this baby, you know, I'll get my baby and I'll move on. You know, it's just a day. So they might not say that to you, but they might be thinking that, okay? And then this one, the hypno, maybe it sounds a little bit mind control, not even sure what it is, because I'm not sure, I don't like uncertainty, so yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'll do something that actually just the majority of people do. You know, that's what I've done in my life. I've just kind of done what everybody else seems to do. So I'll do that. Okay. So those are the things that they might not say out loud, but they might be thinking. Now, this stuff is gold because, okay, you can subtly address this when they land on your website, when they land on your social media, so that they're reassured that those things that they're thinking that maybe they've never even said out loud are not actually true, and that, you know, your course certainly is different to maybe all the presumptions that they're making about others. Now, if you do things like taster events, like free introduction to hypnobirthing or £10 and come along to my taster session or whatever it may be, that is another great place to really be thinking about these objections and weaving them into your session, okay? So this stuff that we're talking about today is so relevant for however you market your courses, whether it's tasters, whether it's social media, whether it's websites, whether it's when you're talking to other business owners about what you do. It's so, so vital that you are aware of the common objections, okay? Rebecca says too hippie-like, only for hippies. Yeah, like absolutely. Some people can think particularly because they might have seen, you know, hypnobirthing being portrayed in a way that, you know, it's you know, often like some of the birth videos that are shown like on social media, you know, look a little bit alternative. They might not have seen things like that. They might have seen like mandalas hung up, and they might be like, whoa, that seems a bit hippie-ish for me, you know? So yeah, like that is a really common thing to be going through someone's mind. Absolutely. So I am going to be talking about 3 main ones today and how you can actually overcome them, okay? Now, a lot of what I'm saying about these 3 can absolutely be applied to all those other 10 or whatever, however many I've just been talking about. Now, interestingly, I know Joe has just said cost is a big thing. I hear that with maternity leave budget, etc. Now, I'm not actually going to talk about the objection of I can't afford it. And I tell you why, because if someone genuinely can't afford it, we can't overcome that objection, can we? Just like, you know, if I saw a car that I really wanted, you know, and I was like, I can't afford it. Like, nobody's going to be able to persuade me, you know, to have that car if I can't afford it. So I'm not going to be talking about that money thing because of that, but also because when people say they can't afford it, sometimes it's true, but sometimes it's because of all these other things, you know? Remember when I was talking about that retreat thing? I would have probably said to my friend, I can't afford it, instead of all the other stuff that's going through my mind, okay? And let's face it, I am sure you know people that have said they can't afford hypnobirthing, and then they go ahead and they go and book a maternity photo shoot for 500 quid. They have newborn photos taken for 400 quid. Yeah? So actually, what they mean is, what some people mean, okay, is it's not a priority for them. We all have different priorities with our money. So, in actual fact, if we overcome some of these other objections, they can see that it is a priority. So, for example, if one of their objections is, well, I'm already doing a hypnobirthing, an antenatal course, so I can't afford hypnobirthing. It's not that they can't afford hypnobirthing, it's they don't see that it would be a priority to do both. Yeah? So actually, if we can overcome this objection that actually, like, they're already preparing, then they're more likely to prioritise that money, because actually people do spend a lot of money, or some people do spend a lot of money on, you know, having a baby. So in actual fact, often that objection can be translated to it's not a priority for me. And for some people, they genuinely won't be able to afford it, and that is okay. You know, whatever type of business you run, you are always going to have people that can't afford your service, even if you run classes for £5 for 1 hour. You know, there will always be people that is out of their price range. So we can't really overcome that objection by dealing with the money thing. What we can do is make them see that this is just an incredible investment, okay, and that actually it is so worthy of their hard-earned cash, okay. So the 3 main objections that I'm going to be talking about today is, I'm going to talk about this whole thing that I'm already doing an antenatal course, okay, or insert name of like really common national antenatal course, okay. I'm already doing that, or I've already done it, or I did it last pregnancy. I'm going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the birth partner thing. You know, I don't think that my husband, my birth partner, my mum, whoever it may be, is going to be up for this. They're not going to come. They're not going to come, so I'm not coming, okay. And then finally, we're going to talk about this thing where they don't think that their circumstances, so, you know, what's going on in their pregnancy, their options for birth, you know, so what Rebecca said, when they already think, well, I know I'm going to have an epidural, so this isn't going to be relevant to me. I actually know that I might have a cesarean, so this isn't relevant. How you can deal with that, because that is a lot of people. That's a lot of people that, you know, already have an idea in their head of how their birth is going to go, so therefore they think, actually, I don't need like tools because I'm going to have it like this, or I think that hypnobirthing is for certain types of birth. Okay, so this is really interesting. Ariel says my antenatal course has one module on hypnobirthing already, so that'll be enough. Do you know what, I have heard this more and more. And I'll definitely talk about that, because I have definitely heard hypnobirthing teachers who I've trained say that their local antenatal course says they cover hypnobirthing and it's an hour. Okay, so therefore they've had people saying they're going to go do that instead because it covers everything. So how can we address this before they make that decision? Thank you so much for that. So that's such a great point. So let's get on with this one about, I'm already doing an antenatal course. Okay, so if they are saying that to you, so if somebody has said after a taster event, I've decided not to book because I'm actually already doing a taster event, or, you know, they chat to you on social media and they inquire a bit and then they don't go ahead and book, and you say, oh, I'd love to know, you know, why you decided not to go ahead, because this information is valuable to you. And they say, oh, well, it's because I'm already doing X, Y, Z. This tells you that they think that what they are doing on another antenatal course is the same as what you are offering. They think it is the same. Really valuable information to you. If they think it is the same, what do you need to be doing to communicate that it is completely different? That there is so much on a hypnobirthing course that is not touched by other antenatal courses. Okay, so this is where, if you get that objection frequently, you need to really think about your messaging and what you're talking about to really show them this is different, you know, this is really different. So if I'm really honest, sometimes before I do these lives, if truth be told, before I do these lives, I go on Instagram and I have a little look at a few hypnobirthing teachers' accounts, okay? Because I know that what I perceive through them, their potential clients will. When I had a little look at some Instagram accounts this morning from hypnobirthing teachers, I too wouldn't know, if I didn't know a lot about hypnobirthing, that there wasn't much difference between hypnobirthing and a regular antenatal course from the content that I was seeing on people's Instagrams, because much of the content was general antenatal stuff. Okay, what you need to know about induction. How do you know that labour's starting? All these kind of things. What is it they're missing that is very different on a hypnobirthing course? Well, all the mindset stuff. Yeah? Like, that's not what they get on a regular antenatal course, however good it is. You know? They do not get the stuff that is about shifting their mindset. They don't get that. So therefore, if you are getting this objection that they are already preparing themselves with an antenatal course, it gives you the heads up that you need to be leaning in to the stuff that is unique about hypnobirthing. And the mindset stuff absolutely is. The hypnosis stuff, so really talking about that incredible shift, that incredible transformation that comes with hypnosis. The power of taking time out to relax, to switch off, to use mindfulness in pregnancy. You don't get that on a regular antenatal course. So this is stuff then, if you are getting that objection, you need to be making clearer, okay? You absolutely do, so that they know that actually this is different. So it's absolutely fine to be doing both, okay? I've got to say the vast majority of my bookings from group courses were also doing the most popular national antenatal course too, because they could see that my courses were different from that offered lots that were not included in that national antenatal course, okay? So something to think about there. Also, like, how can you actually directly address this in your marketing? So perhaps you've worked with a client like I did many, many times that had also done an antenatal course and done your hypnobirthing course. Message them and say, you know, obviously strike up a conversation, be polite, you know, and then be like, oh, you know what, I'd love to know, like, how it was doing hypnobirthing and that other antenatal course. Was it useful to you? Like, what was different? And then when they write this thing and it says, oh my God, absolutely, like this was included, that wasn't, you know, I loved yours, you know, more because X, Y, Z. I just didn't get that from my other one. You can then say, would I be able to use those words? What a blooming great quote for your website. What a blooming great quote for your social media. And you don't have to be naming any courses there. You can, you know, omit the names. You don't want to look like you are putting down any other course. But what you are doing is you are showing that what you offer is different, so they can absolutely work alongside each other. Okay, Jamie says this is really helpful. Lots of people inquire or follow me are doing an NCT course and feel like there's no need to book another. Absolutely. So this is your reminder that you need to lean in to the things that are truly unique and special about hypnobirthing, because they're not getting that. Okay. So yeah, if you have taught clients that have done both, ask for their perspective on it. Okay. If you're doing a taster, okay, and you know some of those people there are doing another antenatal course, okay, so that could be an objection when it comes to the end of the taster. Address that in the taster. So you might say, so many people that come and do a course with me also do, I'm not saying the name of the antenatal course, also do antenatal education. And you know what they tell me? They tell me this, okay? They say that they nearly didn't book hypnobirthing because they thought they were covered by doing this course. But actually, when they did my course, they really see that actually they would have missed out on X, Y, Z if they hadn't have done my course, okay? Rebecca said, would it be good to put something like this on social media? Absolutely. You know, weave it in as well. Like, sometimes we can think with social media, right, I'll do a post on this. And we do that post, and that post like goes right down to the bottom of your page, doesn't it? You know, and yeah, you can reshare it here and there. But actually, this would be good to thread through any post that you do. Okay. So if you're talking about something else, so you are talking about 2 signs of early labour, for example, okay, and then at the bottom you say, you know, I'm taking on private one-to-one clients at the moment, okay, if you'd like to book a one-to-one course with me, do send me a message, okay, my courses are perfect as a, you know, a full birth preparation. And also some people do them on top of an antenatal course because there are so many wonderful things about hypnobirthing that you don't get anywhere else, okay? So threading it through as well, okay? So Okay, let's move on to the next one. Birth partner. I mean, lots of people, I bet you hear this a lot. I don't think my partner is going to be up for this. I think it was great, but I just don't know that I'm going to get them coming. Okay. Yeah. So how do you address this? Okay. Well, there's a few things to consider here. This is my opinion. Okay. And I'm not saying this is what you have to believe, but I want to share my perspective. I think birth partners doing a hypnobirthing course is fantastic. I do. I think one of the wonderful things about hypnobirthing is that it is for both of them. Okay. However, I would far prefer someone to do it alone than not do it at all. I'd far prefer them to still do it than not do it at all, because they just can't get their birth partner on board. I don't know if any of you agree, okay, but that has always been my approach. So I do talk about the power of birth partners being involved in a course, but I did say things like, please don't worry if you want to do this course on your own. You are perfectly welcome. It's wonderful for birth partners, but it's not essential that you bring your birth partner. It's your pregnancy, it's your birth, you get to choose. Okay. So, you know, like, they might see pictures of your course and it might look like couples. So we read a lot from images, don't we? So them seeing that might make them think, oh, you have to bring your birth partner. So this can be an absolute objection to address on your website during the tasters, just like I said before, actually bringing it up. You know, when you're talking about how the course is for birth partners too, you know, make sure you say, but please know that, you know, birth partners can be very skeptical. 90% of the people that came to my courses were hugely skeptical, birth partners that was. But after the first session, they weren't. They saw that it is actually logical, it is actually rational, okay? But if your birth partner really cannot be persuaded, please do a course, because actually, you know, you're going to benefit from it so much. And you know what? You can feed bits back to them. Okay. So see what I did there? I addressed the fact that actually, you know, it's normal for birth partners to be skeptical. Normal. Like, I made them aware that actually this is not an unusual situation. 90% of people that turned up to my hypnobirthing courses had a skeptical birth partner. And I also reassured them that by the end of it, they were no longer skeptical because they saw it was logical. It was science-based. There was nothing weird about it, okay? There was no vagina whispering. There was no chanting. You know? I reassured them of that, okay? But then also let them know that if you do want to come alone, that is totally okay. You are more than welcome, okay? Other things you could do to overcome this objection, okay, is actually ask partners to leave you a review. This is gold, okay? So if you have taught clients before, often it's the woman, isn't it, that'll do the Facebook review or the Google review or whatever, or just informally send you some feedback. Like, actually ask if birth partner can, and say, you know, I'd really love to know, like, you know, really honestly, like what you thought it was going to be like and actually what it was like in the end, okay? That from a birth partner to a skeptical birth partner is so much more powerful than you saying it, okay? So that would be great quotes for websites. It'd be great things to show at a taster, you know, to say like, if you are here, you know, maybe against your will, please know that, you know, many, many birth partners also come like this. Let me show you this quote from Gary, you know. Gary came on my group hypnobirthing course last year, and as he says, he was thinking this was going to be, you know, what does he think it's going to be? It's going to be like hippie stuff. He thought it was going to be preachy. He thought it was going to be this and that. And look what he says. He said that actually, you know, he found it incredible. And it certainly wasn't all those things that he was imagining. Use that in your taster, on your website, on your social media. Okay. So that one was birth partners. Okay, next one, the final one. Let me have a sip of tea before it goes cold. Next one, final, is people who think it is not going to be relevant for them because they are perhaps high risk. They're not planning a home water birth and they've assumed it's only for those types of births. They perhaps already know they are getting an epidural as soon as they possibly can. Okay. They're having complications in their pregnancy, so they just don't know, like, that they're going to have any options. So why would they bother learning about the options? Okay. So how do we address this? Okay. Well, firstly, it's so important that we have this in our mind, that people might be landing on your website with those thoughts, okay? But in actual fact, we know, don't we, that regardless of what's going on in their pregnancy, regardless of what they are choosing, like, they are going to find the course incredibly powerful and incredibly useful, okay? So we want to look at our marketing through their eyes, okay? So someone who perhaps doesn't know what kind of birth they're having, you know, feels a bit like, oh, choice is all out of the window. I already know I want this, but because I ain't got any other choices, okay? What might they be thinking by some of the things that you are talking about? How can you, okay, let them know that actually they are gonna find it valuable too, okay? So you can openly address this by putting something like, okay, I understand that there could be an assumption that hypnobirthing is only for calm water births at home, because that's what we see on social media, right? But I want you to know that when you do a course with me, okay, I don't actually care what options you choose. I just want you to be happy. You know, hypnobirthing is not about a right or wrong way to birth. It is about you feeling in control and calm. How is hypnobirthing useful if you are having a medicalised birth, if you are having an epidural? Here is the information. So you actually directly address it. Again, going back to what I said with the birth partner thing, like, look for bits of reviews that you've already got perhaps that touch upon stuff like this, you know? Birth stories from clients where they talked about, you know, their cesarean and how useful it was for their cesarean. Like, incorporate this into your marketing so that they've got the evidence right in front of them that it is in fact for people like them too. You know, it is in fact so suitable for the choices that they are making too. It might be a brilliant prompt for a blog post on your website, might it? How hypnobirthing can be used in a high-risk pregnancy, for example. Okay. These objections, and hopefully you've seen a bit of a theme here, you know, these objections are incredible nudges for you to create stuff that directly address it. So that when they're thinking it, they're like, oh, all right, maybe I was wrong about that. I'll read on, you know? When they're sat at your taster session, they're not just thinking, yeah, this makes sense, but not applicable to me. They're actually like, oh, it is applicable to me. Let me listen on, you know? So, okay, I really hope that was valuable. Now, this is an important bit next, okay? How can you use this information today, okay? Well, today, what you can do is have a look at, if you've already got a website, your website copy, okay? Are you overcoming objections in your website copy? By copy, I mean the wording, you know, by what you're writing, the messaging. Are you directly addressing it? So are you saying things like, you know, when you're talking about the power of hypnobirthing and what it does, are you saying hypnobirthing is incredibly different from an average antenatal course? Because, yeah? So actually looking at your messaging, are you dealing with these objections right throughout it? Okay. Do you have like a frequently asked questions page? And maybe at the moment it's things like, what stage of pregnancy do I need to do hypnobirthing at? Okay. How much is the course? How can you actually put these objections as a frequently asked question? You know, what if my birth partner isn't interested? And write a response. What if I'm being classed as high risk? What if I know I want an epidural? Okay, what else did we have? Let me think of some of those from earlier. What if I'm feeling excited already about birth? Is there anything to gain from this course? You answer it there. Frequently asked questions are a great place to address this, okay? But as well as that, do weave it through other stuff that you do. It's a great thing to talk about on your social media pages regularly, not just one and done, regularly, okay? Because there will be people watching who are interested, but constantly they've got things going on in their head that puts them off. Are you like that with other businesses too? Because I am, you know? There's loads of things that, you know, I look at and I'm like, oh, I might want to do that one day. But then I'm like, oh, but, you know, but if they were directly addressing this, you know, I'd be so much more likely to take the plunge. That's what you want for your hypnobirthing business too. Okay. So I really hope this was valuable. And like anything, please act upon it. Yeah? Like, if you have listened and you're like, yeah, this is so true, like, do something today that's actually getting over these objections, because it's going to make such a difference. Oh, you are so welcome, Julia. Oh, love you too, Rebecca. I'm so glad this was useful. Okay, I would love to know what you are going to do. So let me know in the chat, what are you going to do on the back of this? Now, I know some of you might not yet be hypnobirthing teachers. That's okay. You can just jot it down for future use, okay? But if you are already teaching hypnobirthing, if you are already marketing your courses, what are you going to do to make more of the people get in your diary, you know? Let me know in the comments. Rebecca is going to start my website. Really good for doula too, 100%. 100%. I bet there's so many for doulas that we haven't talked about today. So it's sitting down and thinking, what is it that makes people think, oh, I don't need a doula, or maybe it's not for me, or it might be this, or it might be that. Ashley says, thank you. I'll be adding a FAQ to my website. Brilliant. Love that. And then use the FAQs as posts on social media too. Have a highlight on your Instagram that is frequently asked questions. Okay. You know, on the highlights, why have I got a pen in my head? On the highlights on the Instagram that you save from your stories, that would be a good one too. Julia says, address these things on my website and Q&A. Yes. Okay. Absolutely. Do Q&A type videos. Q&A type videos. You could even do a reel, couldn't you? A quick reel, 30 seconds long, answering one of these things, okay, for your social media. You know, that's there forever. You can keep resharing it. You can pop it in your highlights, okay? So powerful. You could even, I mean, you know, you might be like, calm down, Abby, I'm not ready for this yet. But maybe you are. I hope you are. How about you do a frequently asked questions video for your website? Keep it short. Still have the written ones too. But for some people, they will enjoy seeing you on video, getting to know you, and also having their innermost questions and concerns answered. Okay, what a great video to post on your website. So thank you so much for sharing what you're going to do. I cannot wait to see how this goes. It will be fabulous. Please, if you have enjoyed this video, as always, click the like or love button because it helps more and more people see this. It is the last week here before the school holidays. I don't know about anybody else, anyone with school-age children, winding down for the holidays, but I am going to be doing my free lives over the summer because I just love them and I absolutely will be making time for them. So I shall see you as usual. So yeah. Excited. Nolene says I might tell my stories. Yes, so tell your stories. Tell other people's stories. Stories really demonstrate so much, don't they? I had an episiotomy induction after spontaneous water breaking. Absolutely. So by that, you're talking about the fact that, you know, they perceived it as, you know, it has to look a certain way. It's not true. There's no such thing as a hypnobirth, is there, that looks a certain way. It's a set of tools. It's a mindset. Okay. Oh, no, Lee's still already got the holidays. Hope they're going well. Oh, you are so welcome, Ariel. Lovely to see you on here. Right, I shall chat to you all soon. Take care. Bye.